you weren't being intentional about it, you're not going to get the results that you want to get. Hello and welcome to Pillars of Wealth Creation, where we talk about creating financial success with a special focus on business and real estate. I'm your host, Todd Dexheimer. Now, let's get to it. Hello and welcome back to Pillars of Wealth Creation. I'm your host, Todd Dexheimer. With me, as always, on these Wednesdays, we got Matt Jones. Matt, how are you doing today?
I'm doing excellent. We're enjoying a little bit of faux spring right now in Minnesota.
Yeah, we are, aren't we? It's crazy. It's a little warm, but that's you got to embrace all seasons, right? Just the seasons of life, as well as the seasons of weather. So, which kind of actually relates to what we're talking about today. So, Matt, what are we going to be hitting on today?
Being intentional.
Being intentional, right? And so, I think being intentional is, I it's so easy to not to just kind of flow with, and I guess kind of being intentional can be flowing a little bit too, but I think so many people just go around about life just not really spending time thinking about what they want to do, what they want to be, who they want to spend time with, all that kind of stuff, how they want to grow their business, how they want to grow their relationships, how they want to show up with their health. And so I think really just breaking that down and understanding in as many aspects of your life as you can, just being super intentional about what decisions you're making, and where you want to go. And that starts with just, again, that work, that homework at the beginning of who do we want to be? How do we want to show up?
Yeah, I think about that book, Psycho-Cybernetics, which, oh my gosh, if our listeners haven't read it, that's just an amazing book to really be intentional with creating yourself to be the person that you want to be. Taking the negative things that you don't like and stripping them away and replacing them with habits and attitudes and beliefs and actions that more constitute who you really want the world to see you as.
Yeah, it's like food is a big thing. A lot of people, want to be intentional about what they eat. And so I relate intentionality actually to food. And it's if you want to get better at eating healthier, well, then that's what you do, right? You eat healthy food. You fill your body up with the things you actually need. And so it's not that you eat less, you just eat more of the good stuff and less, then you crave less of the bad stuff because you're full, drinking enough water, getting enough sleep, but then eating red peppers, sweet peppers versus, having a piece of candy, eating a strawberry versus a, strawberry watermelon piece of candy. Right. Doing those things is filling your body with the good things to replace the bad things. And that's really intentionality, right? That's intentionality with all aspects of your life. For me, I was very intentional when I wanted to start my own business, when I wanted to improve myself, was to be very intentional about not watching TV, right? Not watching movies, not watching TV, not sitting down and wasting my time on that stuff, and being very intense. So what did I do? It didn't just not watch TV. I replaced it. And what did I replace it with? Well, I replaced it with reading. And so if I wanted downtime, which a lot of us are like, yeah, I watch TV, so it's downtime. I need downtime. I'm like, okay, I get that. That's fine. And maybe that's the downtime that you actually need. But for me, it wasn't providing me anything positive. So the downtime for me, instead of watching TV, is to pick up a book and to read the book. And I'm learning something. I'm enjoying my time. It's downtime still, but it's creating more education, and it's helping me grow my mind and my mindset and all that kind of stuff. So I was very intentional. I replaced the bad habit of watching TV as my downtime, and still needing downtime, then replacing that with something good, which was reading nonfiction books.
Mhm. Yeah, so that you saw it as the TV shows were not helping you achieve your goals, but reading the books does help you achieve
Hmm.
your goals. And
Hmm.
maybe at first, when you made that change, the first day you were reading it, you thought like, "Oh, hey, I'm missing my show that I've been watching for a while." And it's not easy at first, and creating a new habit, it takes 3 to 4 weeks at least for you to really get in the routine of like, "Oh no, I'm doing
Yeah.
this thing instead."
Yeah. Probably more like 8 to 10 weeks, really. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, if you got to be, again, it's about being intentional. You got to be intentional about it. If you're just doing it just to, you know, just because, you're probably not going to be successful, but you're very intentional. You have a real purpose of doing it, and you're very motivated to do it. I think there's a high probability that you're going to achieve that, and then you're going to create new habits with that. I need to be right now more intentional about putting my phone down when it's my family time, and that's something I definitely need to work on still. And so for me, I need to create that intentionality around it, but I need to create something to replace it with. And so what do I do there? And so that's the, you for me, it's okay. That's my next real, hey, this is, I gotta be intentional about it. I've got to really focus on that. And I think with being successful in it comes down to what's your goal? And then what are the steps you're going to do to create that? So what intentions are you gonna, what habits are you gonna create? What things do you need to do in order to achieve that goal? Because it's easy to say, well, I want to do something, Matt, I want to eat healthy. Okay, well, if you want to eat healthy, then what are the things you need to do? you know it starts with the want, but it ends with the things you need to do, the steps you need to take, and really the why behind it too.
Yeah, exactly. The why I think is the driving force. Because if you're just eating healthy, because like, oh, you should probably do that, but you don't have like a real goal
Somebody told me
behind it.
to.
Yeah, exactly. Just like, somebody told me to quit smoking, or someone told me this or that. Like that's not enough. You need a strong
Yeah.
why driving you at all times to get that.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, so not a huge topic, not something we probably need to belabor too much, but I think if you're struggling with any area of your aspect of your life, business, relationship, health, whatever, just be very intentional. Just really think about, you might, like, this life is super short, right? I mean, in reality, we're only here for a short period of time, and we don't know how long of the time that is. Some people are shorter than others, right? And so if if you go about your life and you're not really intentional about it, you're not going to get the results you want. And for me, it's I I don't want to be here just to be here. Like, I want to be here to create something, to do something, to leave my mark on the world in some sort of positive way. And so I got to be intentional about how I show up. I got to be intentional about what I do every single day. I've got to really, you know, think about how I'm showing up to my family, to my friends, to my business, to my wife, all that kind of stuff. And it's just really lean into that. And that's going to create a better life. That's going to create a better experience. It's going to make me happier. And it's going to make people around me happier. Right. So,
Mhm.
that's a huge positive.
Yep. And I would add that there's this thing called mindfulness, which is really being present with what's going on at any given time. And so there's a lot of great books about mindfulness that you can look up and read. But to like, if you're trying to eat healthy, like really, being present with the food that you're eating and experiencing it, and getting more enjoyment out of it. So if you're used to eating cookies, but you're mindful in your way that you're eating that sweet red pepper, then it becomes an amazing sweet red pepper, and it's easier to replace that enjoyment that you were getting from the cookies before.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned. I was just listening to a podcast, and they were talking about the food. Food relates, you relate to food, and so your brain like thinks about certain things. So let's say you went to baseball games with your dad, and you really enjoyed doing that. And every baseball game, you got ice cream and a hot dog. And so when your subconscious mind, when you see ice cream or a hot dog, it makes you think of happy times. I might not think of exactly of that baseball game, but it thinks of happy times. Your brain's like, oh yeah, these are happy moments. And so when we think about desserts, and desserts as, sugar is like this horrible thing, right? We don't think of cocaine as a happy time. Well, some people maybe do, but you think of like that's it's a hard drug, and you don't want to do it, right? Because it's addicting, and it's bad, right? But we don't think of like sugar as that. We think of it as happy times, because think about it. You went, you played baseball. Go back to the baseball thing. You played baseball as a kid, and at the end of the game, what happened? Well, at least for me, we did maybe one of two things, and sometimes both, right? Somebody brought something for all the kids a lot of times at the end of the game. And so it was pop, it was ice cream, it was popsicles, it was something like that. I was always a treat, right? Or we went to the local ice cream place and we went and had ice cream there. And so happy times, right? The baseball, happy moment, a lot of fun and excitement, but we relate that to, relate that bad food to that happy time. And we go, oh yeah, every time we see the dessert, we're like, oh, happiness, right? We got to eat it. It's a happy moment. Well, we probably shouldn't be eating it, right? Or we should at least be eating a lot more moderation than we're eating it. And so, yeah. Anyways, that's totally off topic, but it was just brought me back to this podcast that I listened to. But it is it's still about being intentional, right? It's if we want to create better habits, if we want to create a better life for ourselves, we got to be really intentional about doing that, about the things that we're doing to do that. And we have to think about, again, if we're relating to food's easy to relate to. If you want to be intentional about eating healthy, or if you want to eat healthy, you have to be really intentional about what you're putting in your body. You can't just say, I want to be healthy, and then go out and have that, that beer, or go out and, eat that ice cream. You weren't being intentional about it. You're not going to get the results that you want to get.
Yep, exactly.
So cool. Well, I don't really have anything else. I mean, we could sit here rant and rave for the next 20 minutes about the same thing, but man, if you want to live a good life, if you want to live the best life, and I think we all do. I think if you're listening to this podcast, that's what you want to do. You want to live a better life. You want to continue to improve yourself. You want to live the best life possible. Then really be intentional about what you're doing with everything you're doing in life, and how you're showing up, and who you really are, and just be intentional about what you feed your body, what you feed your brain, right? What the people that you surround yourself with, just be really intentional about the environment and the tribe that you're in.
Sounds good.
Cool, man. That's all I got. You have a fantastic rest of the day. Make every day Saturday.
Thank you, Todd. You as well.
Hey, thanks so much for listening. I appreciate you being a loyal listener. I would love to have you go on to our Facebook page and subscribe, give us a thumbs up, go on to iTunes or wherever you listen and give us a rating and review. Don't forget to subscribe. Your rating and review just helps us push this out to more and more people and continue to grow our audience, and hopefully positively affect a ton of people out there that really need this and want this. So the other thing I've got for you is a free ebook on my website. So go on to venturedproperties.com, and download our free ebook on real estate and on syndication. And I've got some data points in there, some really good stuff for you. So I'd love to have you take a look at that. It's free. I'm not expecting anything from it. And also, look, if you want some help in multifamily, want some help learning, growing, getting your business off the ground, I would love to talk to you about what it would look like to work with me potentially and see if that's a good fit. So you can go to coachwithdex.com and check that out, and we can definitely have a call. Thanks a lot for listening. You make it a fantastic rest of the day. I'll catch you on the next episode.